My name is Helen Peralio, and I'm from a very small community, very rural, not even a town, community called Carson, New Mexico. I was born in Taos and raised in between Taos and Ojo Caliente, where I went to school, and where I currently reside with my family, my beautiful children. I have 4 children and my husband, and we have a little family farm out in Ojo Caliente. I work as the Chief Financial Officer for Los Alamos County, which is located in Los Alamos, New Mexico. And I also am serving as an acting Administrative Services Director, which oversees information management, IT, and records. And as a CFO, I oversee finance and procurement. We have oversight of all of our taxpayer dollars, so I have a huge role in fiscal oversight and responsibility to our taxpayers. So in that role, we produce financial statements, we produce a budget. I directly oversee the financial system and the internal controls and make sure that all the internal controls over all of the county's assets are safeguarded. In a day-to-day basis, I oversee huge transactions, wire transactions, and ensuring that everything is basically accounted for properly. So the pathway, what was my pathway? The pathway to my career started off very humbly, like I mentioned, going to school at Mesa Vista since I was young, my first experience from elementary through high school. I went to Mesa Vista in Ojo Caliente, and I was just extremely inspired as a young student. I had incredible teachers and mentors early on from the elementary level, and people saw something special in me, and I think I was invested in very heavily because I had a lot of enthusiasm and I just had a spark to learn and want to learn more. And so I built a lot of relationships that I look back on now that I value tremendously. I graduated from Mesa Vista and I went on to school at UNM, and I was really inspired by the business world. I challenged myself to do the best that I could. And I graduated with honors from Anderson School of Management and Accounting. I actually graduated summa cum laude, so I was able to maintain a 4.0 GPA. And I was really proud of that because there weren't very many in my class that did that. And it was a huge accomplishment, but it was a huge commitment as well. I just worked really hard, studied really hard. And then while I was getting ready to graduate, I started sitting for the CPA exam to become a certified public accountant. And I knew that that was the path I wanted to pursue. And I became a CPA shortly thereafter and went to work for a public accounting firm in Santa Fe, where we did audits of governmental entities, nonprofits, banking, financial institutions, and some tax returns. And I found that I really enjoyed the industry of governmental accounting. It was quite a challenge, and it was also felt very rewarding. And I turned my career path to actually work in government and went to work for Santa Fe County as their accounting and financial reporting manager. And then from there, I moved on to Los Alamos County, where I started as an accounting operations manager. And I really just got my feet completely engulfed in everything I possibly could, learned a whole lot, had wonderful mentors and teachers, and I worked my way up to the top to then become the chief financial officer of the county. And it has just been an incredible pathway to get there. I've had a lot of support. I cannot say that I've done it single-handedly. I've had a lot of people that have invested in me and believed in me and supported me and given me just tremendous motivation to get where I am today. And I'm really proud of that. And I'm really proud of my upbringing and my small, really tight community and family and friends and instructors, mentors along the way that have gotten me here. Went through a challenging time in high school in that my father was diagnosed at a very young age with a brain tumor. And he fought really hard to try to outsmart and outlive the brain tumor. But he did end up losing his life when I was a freshman in high school. And I was basically his caregiver, besides my mom, who was a nurse. And she used to work and drive 60 miles away from home in Espanola to work there. And I would stay with my dad, and I just felt like I couldn't leave him alone. So I made the choice to drop out of regular public school and homeschool myself for half of the year so that I could give my father the hospice care that he needed. And when I came back, I made it back into school. It was a wonderful, it was just such a welcoming event. People are so supportive when you're going through that kind of situation. And so I really, really strived to do the best that I could in his honor. It was tough not having him for basketball games and having to him see me succeed, but the mentors that I had, the teachers, and then, my teammates on the basketball team were so supportive, and all of their parents were so wonderful to me that I really pulled through and I did the best I could. So I always tried really hard and I worked really hard. And I like I said, being from a small town and a small community, everybody gets to watch you grow up, and they just have a lot vested in their residents, in their children, their youth. People care. And I was a product of that, of sincere care and a lot of wonderful support in my high school years, and a lot of pride. I'm very proud of where I come from. I'm very proud of my little small town. Go Trojans. I love everything about that. So you should never be afraid to take on as much as you possibly can and dream big and achieve really high goals and shoot for them, no matter where you come from. So even if you're from a really small community or a really rural school district in New Mexico, somewhere in the outskirts, and you may have grown up without running water, you may have had some harder times, and you may not have had access to everything out there that other folks or peers your age did. The biggest thing is for you to just realize that you can conquer anything by just giving it your all, really committing and working hard, buckling down, understanding what the objectives are and really working towards them in everything that you do, and being honest and reliable and just being and being respectful. You're going to gain a lot of respect along the way. Aim high, shoot high, and do as much as you possibly can to fulfill yourself, and know that there are a lot of great opportunities and wonderful jobs, and the state wants you. We want you here in New Mexico. So be proud of being a graduate from our New Mexico public school system, and the best of luck to you.